I've spoken about this quite a lot, but now it's time to speak about it properly in its own video. One of the main things I always talk about when it comes to racing games is starting from the bottom, working your way up. Otherwise, there isn't much point to keep progressing. If you start me in like a Ferrari within 5 minutes of the game, what is the point of me to keep playing? There's a combination in my mind. If there's like a storyline, I start from the bottom, get to the end point. I don't start on a Ferrari and end in a Ferrari. There's not much point. There's exceptions when it comes to testing out a Ferrari at the beginning and then waking up like you do in TDU2, for example, and then realizing that you're in quite a bit of a slower car. But ever since Need for Speed came from undercover, we've had a mismatch of pretty much starting in stupid supercars and starting in decently high-end cars, and I just want to make a video talking about this because it's a huge factor and it's the thing I want to see a lot more games do and start us in lower-end cars. Underground 2, brilliant example, starting off in a little hatchback. You could start in a Vauxhall Corsa if you wanted to, or a 206, something that people actually start in. Now granted, if you're in the US, it's not particularly any of those cars that you start in, lucky bastard. But what you start in is usually slow, piece of junk. It's something that you're gonna get rid of eventually. You're not going to keep this car. That's what I want to feel with my first car in the game. Maybe start me off in something amazing. You know, I'm dreaming, I crash the car, I fail, I lose something, I lose that car, and then I end up in a shitbox. Or I just don't do any of that at all, and I start in a crappy car and work my way up. There is no better feeling than unlocking more and higher tier cars as you go along. If I start off in something great and play with something great for a while, I'm not gonna ever use the lower end cars. What's the point? My main issue comes in where my favorite car class is not to jump into the supercars, hypercars. I particularly don't really use them. I'll have some, for example, the Murcielago, but I don't particularly want to choose those cars over any others. There's cars I would much prefer in a lower end class, for example, the Skylines, the GTRs, Silvias, Subarus. That's my ideal class that I want to be in. I don't want to be dropped into that right at the beginning. So if you start me in, for example, Need for Speed 2015, you got the option of some pretty decent cars, which did frustrate me a little bit. I mean, I chose the Civic because it was technically one of the worst cars there, which says a lot because it was a Civic Type R, which is pretty good. But there was a BRZ or F, one of those, I don't know which one, it doesn't matter. Pretty much you could start in a BRZ, which is what a lot of people did. So then any car below that, what's the point in using them? Most people won't use them. It makes them almost irrelevant. What's the point of having a low-end Golf and then throwing us into a BRZ and being like, why drive that thing? You have a faster, nice car. I get it. What's the point? Because most people won't use them very long. Well, I disagree. I always keep my first car in the game no matter what. I don't care how slow it is. I don't care how far it's limited to upgrades by, like, maybe it goes from tier 1 to the top of tier 1. That car is staying in my garage. And now with the introduction of new tier systems when it comes to especially like speed lists, I'm going to want a car in each individual class or each individual tier, everything. I'm going to cover everything to make sure I have the best car for me. Probably not the best car in general, but the best car that I personally love in each class. So to have a Vauxhall bloody Corsa in me lower end class, that would be mint. I'd be smashing everybody in me Burberry wrapped Vauxhall Corsa. I don't have massive interest in some of the hypercar stuff, as I mentioned. So this, for me, the Skylines, the GTRs, that as a maximum cap, to me, I will still use some of those, but I'm going to mostly be sticking in the middle class. It means that those are the higher end cars for me. I actually have to get to those rather than jumping in the game and you giving me a decent end car, and it's like, well, I'm already in my favorite class, so why progress? I mean, I still will because I love story and stuff, but you get my point. And then when it comes to people that love hypercars and ridiculous end cars in general, it would be more like, I really want these cars for the people that are starting in their Vauxhall Corsas and stuff. So 2015 had a few lower end cars. It had a couple. It was pretty much the Golf and the Volvo. Not much outside that. Well, I believe there should be more on Payback. I'm really hoping there is, and if there isn't now, I hope there is at some point. There's many choices indeed, but as I did mention, it's based in the US, so particularly you don't get really many hatches. Most people that like cars will probably start off with a BRZ because they can, and the insurance won't absolutely destroy them like they will if they were in Europe at all. We've seen quite a few older muscle cars added to the game. Older muscle cars are generally quite slow, and honestly that's probably a lot of people's starter cars that they would like to see, you know, donated from their uncle. They got themselves an old Mustang, whereas to us that's like a godly car, so still it's like, well, that's quite a good car to us, but to you it's like, oh, my granddad gave me it for a quid. First, cars in the UK and the EU, shite bags. That's what we need. Corsa, Astra, Clio, Golf, Polo, Fiesta, cars like that I hate to see on the road because they're disgusting. But everybody has to start in one. I learned to drive in a diesel Fiesta, which was manual, which is just the weirdest thing ever, but I did. Welcome to the UK. A BLZ is not a first car, neither is it a slow car. So when they made me pick the BLZ or something around that level, I was a little bit disappointed. I was kind of happy because it was lower end than it was in Rivals. For example, in Need for Speed Rivals, you started in like Porsches and stuff, which not low end in the slightest. No. Thankfully, even this last Forza game, I was actually able to pick something pretty slow to start in. Thanks very much, Turn 10. I'm proud of you. Making some progress there, we are, I see. I'd love to know your thoughts, because if it's different from mine and I'm just spewing a load of rubbish that you don't want, I want to hear, and so do Ghost. Let us know down in the comments what you think. Should we have Fiestas and stuff in the game to start us off after we've toyed around with some like high-end cars? For example, we drive around in a Lamborghini and then, oh no, I was dreaming, and we're in the Corsa and it's like, oh, well, this again. Anyway, be sure to smash like, subscribe if you are new for some more Need for Speed Payback stuff on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.